You don't join the Marines. You survive them. And what they build out of what's left, that's the question nobody warns you about before you sign the contract. Level 1. The private. You are nobody. That is not an insult. That is doctrine. The moment your feet hit the yellow footprints painted on the asphalt at Parris Island or San Diego, you stop being a person with a name, a hometown, a past. You become a number, a body, raw material. The drill instructor's voice hits you like a wall of sound before your eyes even adjust to the light. It doesn't ask. It doesn't explain. It commands. And your legs move before your brain processes why. The sun hasn't risen yet. You've been awake for what feels like 3 days. Your head is shaved. Your clothes are gone. Every artifact of the person you used to be has been stripped away in under 48 hours, and something cold settles in your chest, not fear, exactly, something quieter. The realization that this place does not care who you were. Boot camp lasts 13 weeks, the longest 13 weeks of your life. You will be broken down to muscle memory and reaction, rebuilt through repetition and consequence. You will learn to make your rack with geometric precision, because a wrinkled sheet is a metaphor. Sloppiness kills. You will learn to run when your shins feel like shattered glass. You will learn to keep your mouth shut, because the private who speaks out of turn inherits extra pain for everyone around them. You graduate. You are a Marine. And then comes the moment nobody tells you about, the moment you arrive at your first unit, and the senior Lance Corporals look at you like you are the most useless thing they have ever seen. Because you are. And you are about to find out why. Level 2. The private first class. You've been in for a few months now. You've earned the single chevron through time served, not achievement. Nobody is impressed. You are still watched, still tested, still the lowest member of every food chain that exists in the barracks. But something has shifted. You know the language now. You understand the unwritten rules, the ones that never appear in any manual. Don't outshine your seniors. Don't complain where the wrong people can hear it. Carry more than your share and say nothing about it. The PFC lives in the gap between knowing enough to get in trouble and not knowing enough to get out of it. You are painting walls. You are cleaning weapons that aren't yours. You are standing post in the rain at 2 a.m, watching a gate that nobody is going to try to breach. But in those quiet, cold hours, something starts building inside you. Patience, observation. You start to understand that the Marine Corps runs on invisible architecture, hierarchy, tradition, reputation, and that your position inside it is not permanent. You just have to survive long enough to move. What you don't know yet is that the next rank won't feel like promotion. It will feel like the beginning of something much harder. Level 3. The Lance Corporal. Welcome to the backbone of the Marine Corps. The LCPL is simultaneously the most indispensable and most expendable rank in the entire institution. You do the actual work. Not the planning, not the commanding, the work. You are the trigger. You are the boots on the ground. You carry the machine gun, the radio, the ammunition. You are 20 years old, possibly deployed to a place you cannot pronounce, possibly sitting in a forward operating base listening to the sound of a firefight 3 kilometers away. You have learned what fear tastes like: metallic, sudden, gone faster than you expected. The Lance Corporal Underground is real. It is the informal network of enlisted Marines who communicate across units, share information, navigate the system, keep each other alive. You are part of it now. Your corporal rules your daily life like a minor god. Your sergeant is a force of nature you do not question. Your staff sergeant exists in a dimension slightly above yours, barely visible. And officers are a different species entirely. You understand now that the Corps runs from the bottom up in terms of execution and from the top down in terms of authority, and you exist at the exact point where those two pressures meet. It is not comfortable, but something is forming inside you, forged by that pressure. Something that will either break you or build you into what comes next. Level 4. The Corporal. Everything changes. You are now non-commissioned officer. You wear 2 chevrons and a crossed rifles device. You are 21, maybe 22, and you are responsible for the lives of Marines. Not theoretically, literally. Your fire team, 3 to 4 people, goes where you say, does what you decide, survives or doesn't, based on your judgment. The weight of that is not abstract. You feel it when you wake up, when you brief your team, when you watch their faces and try to read whether they trust you, whether you've earned it. The corporal is the first rank where leadership becomes personal. You cannot manage from a distance. You are in the mud with your people. You are the one who corrects them face to face, who defends them to the sergeant, who knows their problems before anyone else does. You are simultaneously peer and authority, and learning to live in that tension is its own education. You will make decisions faster than you've ever made decisions in your life. Some will be wrong. The Corps does not punish mistakes, it punishes hesitation. The corporal who freezes is more dangerous than the one who chooses badly and corrects. You are learning what it costs to lead, but you haven't seen the full price yet. Level 5, the Sergeant. You are the most powerful, non-commissioned officer in the Marine Corps. Not because of rank, there are ranks above you, because of position. The Sergeant owns the squad. 7 to 13 Marines. Their training, their discipline, their readiness, their character. Everything that happens inside your squad is yours. When they succeed, it was your foundation. When they fail, it is your failure first. Nobody tells you how heavy this is before you get here. You discover it. Your staff sergeant demands results without excuses. Your corporal is watching how you handle pressure. Your squad Marines are watching everything, every reaction, every decision, every moment you hold or break under stress. They will mirror what they see. You understand that now, in a way you didn't before. Leadership is contagious, good and bad. The sergeant who cracks under pressure trains a squad that cracks under pressure. You work longer hours than anyone above or below you. You attend every brief, run every PT session, maintain every piece of gear, track every qualification. Deployment approaches? Or you've already been through one, maybe two. You've seen what the job looks like when the stakes are real. And you are starting to understand that something fundamental is shifting in how you see the Corps, how you see the world. You are not the same person who stood on those yellow footprints. But the hardest transformation is still ahead. Level 6. The Staff Sergeant. You have crossed into the upper tier of the enlisted world. You are a senior NCO now, and the Corps treats you differently. Not gently. Nothing about this institution is gentle, but with a different kind of expectation. You are no longer just executing, you are shaping. The Staff Sergeant trains sergeants, mentors junior NCOs, provides the institutional knowledge that keeps units from reinventing lessons already paid for in blood. You've been in for 8, maybe 10 years. You have seen enough to know what this job costs over a career. Marriages strained by deployment cycles. Children who grew inches you didn't witness. Friendships compressed into narrow windows of leave. The Staff Sergeant carries that weight and still shows up fully formed in front of junior Marines because breaking in front of them is not an option. You are architecture, the structure that everything else leans against. And somewhere in you, quieter than you'd admit, is the knowledge that the Corps has taken years from you that it will never return. But it has given you something in exchange, a clarity about who you are under pressure that most people will never discover. The question is whether that trade was fair. You won't know yet. Keep going. Level 7. The Gunnery Sergeant. They call you Gunny. That word carries history. The Gunnery Sergeant is the heartbeat of Marine Corps enlisted culture. The one rank that officers genuinely fear getting wrong, because a good gunny can save a unit and a bad one can ruin it. You have been in for 12, possibly 15 years. You know the Corps in all 4 dimensions: structure, culture, history, and the invisible web of relationships that makes everything actually function. Your company commander may outrank you, but your experience runs deeper than his, and you both know it. The dynamic is delicate, sophisticated. You advise without undermining. You correct without humiliating. You push the unit forward while protecting the Marines inside it from decisions made too far above the ground to see clearly. You are surgeon and shield simultaneously. The Gunnery Sergeant has seen Marines go home in boxes, has written letters, has stood in dress blues at doors nobody wants you to knock on. And you come back to work the next Monday and train the next generation anyway, because the mission continues, regardless of its cost, and because your Marines are watching. And the moment you stop, something in the unit dies with you. What you don't know yet, what nobody tells you until you arrive, is that the highest enlisted ranks will ask you to become something you never expected to be. Level 8. The First Sergeant. You are no longer a technical specialist. You are a shepherd. The First Sergeant owns the soul of a company, 150 to 200 Marines. Their morale, their welfare, their discipline, their humanity, in the middle of an institution that can grind humanity down if nobody guards it. You stand beside the company commander, but you are not subordinate in the way junior Marines are subordinate. You are a counterweight, the conscience. You are the one who walks the barracks at night to check on the young Marine who seemed quiet at formation. You are the one who sits across from a staff sergeant whose marriage is collapsing and speaks plainly about what comes next. You are the one who delivers bad news face to face because you believe that is what the rank demands. You have given this institution the better part of your adult life, and you carry that tenure, like armor and like wound, simultaneously. You have accumulated something rare, the trust of people who do not trust easily, earned in the hardest circumstances imaginable. But the final enlisted summit is still one step above, and it demands something more than experience. It demands legacy. Level 9, the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps. One person holds this title at any given moment. One. Out of nearly 170,000 Marines, one human being carries the rank of Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps, the highest non-commissioned officer in the entire service. You advise the Commandant directly. You travel the globe to speak to enlisted Marines at every level. You are the voice of the enlisted force, translated upward into the halls of institutional power. Everything you say carries the weight of every private who ever stood on those yellow footprints. Every reform you advocate for ripples downward through hundreds of thousands of lives. The decisions feel different at this altitude, slower, heavier, with consequences that extend years beyond the moment of choice. You did not start here. You started as nobody, on a tarmac, in the dark, with a shaved head and no name. Everything between that morning and this one was the curriculum. Every rank was a lesson. Every failure was instruction. Every person you led shaped you in ways you can trace now, looking back at the architecture of a career. And here is what nobody tells you when you are standing at the bottom. The Marine Corps does not produce warriors. It produces people who have chosen, repeatedly, at every level, under the worst possible conditions, to remain, to be reliable, to do the hard thing when the easy thing was available. The rank was never the point. The rank was the mirror. What it reflected back: the discipline, the sacrifice, the unflinching presence inside chaos that was you, built layer by layer, rank by rank, from the moment you first chose to begin. The yellow footprints are still there. New people are standing on them right now, terrified, staring forward, not knowing what is coming. And somewhere in you, looking back across that full distance, you understand something they cannot yet. It was never about becoming a Marine. It was about discovering what you were made of when someone gave you no choice but to find out.